Quick round of applause for Jeff Binder, everybody.
Thanks, Greg. It's a real pleasure to be here. Imagine what our world would look like if you could take one generation, an entire generation around the world, and have them taught, inspired, mentored by some of the world's brightest, most creative and innovative leaders of today. What would our world look like? You see, our company uses holographic technology to bring some of the world's top speakers and educators into university and college auditoriums live around the world in real time for that exact purpose, to empower a generation. We have the power with technology to bring people like Oprah, Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, J.K. Rowling, Elon Musk, some of the world's visionaries that have just a tremendous wealth of experience, and put them into thousands of educational institutions around the globe simultaneously. And one of the very amazing things about the tech, Greg, is that not only can we have them on stage in all of these different places around the world at the same time, but we can actually give people in the audience the ability to ask them questions, for them to see their audiences and respond to them in real time as well. So one of the things I find really interesting about this is that many of these visionaries that have this tremendous depth of experience, life experience basically, that younger generation hasn't yet got under belt. And our feeling is that a lot of these people really want to share some of their stories, some of their learnings, especially with the younger generation, but really don't have a forum at scale to be able to do that. We believe we're creating exactly that forum to help a generation to be the best version of themselves.
You know, it sounds absolutely incredible. I just got to ask, how does it actually work?
Think of it like Greg, it's like a two-way holographic talk for universities, colleges, and later high schools, where we're bringing speakers into these auditoriums that no one individual institution could otherwise afford to bring in. Basically, an educational institution will pay a monthly subscription fee to us, and we will install a huge, gorgeous 30-foot holographic system onto their stages and their auditoriums. And approximately once a month, we're going to bring in a different superstar onto their stage to share their experiences and insights in an interactive way with their audience. And not just onto one stage, but again, onto many, many stages all at the same time. Instead of actually talking about it, would you like to see it?
Right now? Hell yeah. How do we do that?
Why not right now?
Let's do it. This is going to be amazing.
Hey, everyone.
All right, Jeff Binder, everybody.
What's up, Reid?
That's amazing. Does that lot look exactly like he's standing right there? Unbelievable technology. How in the world did you guys come up with this?
So, as you guys know, what you just saw was a recorded hologram of me. Now, how many of you in the audience would actually like to see a live, real-time hologram?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
So
all right.
Yeah, so right now we can do it?
Yeah.
How?
Right now. All right.
Do it. Who do we can bring on?
Let's bring out Larry. So, I'd like to introduce you to Larry O'Reilly. Larry is the CEO of Art Media, our technology partner.
Wait. Larry?
Hey guys, how are you?
Hey, Larry.
Wow, that's amazing.
Welcome to sunny San Diego.
Well, there you go. I'm happy to be there, all the way from Toronto.
So right now, you are live in Toronto.
I'm live in Toronto at our studio, where I have a capture studio all around me, broadcasting live in real time, downtown San Diego, wherever you might be.
So you can actually see us at the same time?
I can see you, Greg. I can see Jeff behind you. I can see the audience out.
Okay, this guy, wait, I want to see this. You stand up. How much hair does this guy got?
No comment.
I guess it's live, right?
Oh.
How absolutely amazing. How does this technology work?
Well, I mean, I'll let Larry sit down and explain some of the technology part of it, because he's really the master of the side of it. But what you guys are really seeing here today, this is a 10-foot holographic display. To give you a sense of things, what we're actually going to be installing in universities and colleges around the world is a 30-foot dual-plane holographic display. I mean, So by dual plane, so you guys see this back screen right here? And then we have a holographic screen, and normally what Larry will have in his studio, actually, and he has in his Toronto studio, they're both 30 feet long, and they're layered in front. So if I'm sitting down and talking to you guys about a ski trip I took with my kids, I can sit down and have the mountains behind me, and it can be snowing and looks like it's actually snowing as you're hearing the wind blow.
On the second screen behind.
Literally, it's a combination of the two screens together, and it's mind-blowing. Larry, why don't you show them some graphics to give them a sense of like and again, this is only on the 10-foot version, but show them some of the special effects, the graphics, the animations you guys can do.
Sure, I mean, we can do just about anything. Anything that is rendered in 3D, we can turn into a holographic image, and now just about everything is rendered in 3D. And to your point, typically we have the characters, the holographic characters in the foreground, and the set in the background, but we can move objects from the background into the foreground to create that sensation of depth and a much bigger stage around a proscenium so that the audience members actually feel that they're being transported right into the environment, and they're right there with the characters. But why don't we run a few graphics that we have set up for you?
Thanks, Larry. That'd be awesome. And then we'll give you guys a chance to ask Larry questions about the technology. Shit, where'd he go?
Oh, there you go. I guess he's showing us some of the things here.
Larry, you disappeared.
Wait, oh, I see. Ah. Some of the graphics displayed. So the idea here is that I could hypothetically be doing Secret Knock here, and then we could beam into India and interact with the group in India, even though we're live here, so many people are seeing us from around the world.
Not only that, Greg, but we could take Secret Knock, and we could have Secret Knock going on in 20 different places around the planet at the same time. How many of you would like to see that? Yeah?
I think the best thing about it is the interaction. So when I'm asking questions, I could be here again, and someone in India can ask a question, but it's just like I'm standing there in front of them because I can see them at the same time as well.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
I see. So for concerts, things of that nature. I mean, we saw some of these things with Tony Robbins doing it, and Biggie and things of that nature. Tupac. Is it possible to bring some of these things? Like I got footage of Napoleon Hill from back in the day. Is there a way to bring that to life?
Absolutely.
Look at this.
In fact, one of the things Greg and I have been talking about is he's got all this great footage of Napoleon Hill. We're talking, how many people think that the younger generation should be able to learn from Napoleon Hill? Yeah? How many people think we should let Greg interview Napoleon Hill on stage in front of millions of students around the world so everyone can learn how to think and grow rich?
That'd be amazing. Absolutely amazing.
That's the kind of stuff we can do.
And what is it that you're looking for? How can we be of contribution with this amazing technology?
So basically for us, Imagine, the company I'm a co-founder of, Imagine stands for Empowering a Generation. We're basically about to do our first capital raise. So we're raising $10 million initially. We're looking for potential investors. So if you or someone you know is interested, come talk to us after the display.
So when you first got introduced to this technology, did you immediately see the opportunity, or is it something that you kind of had to look and analyze?
That's a great question, Greg. So I had this idea for about 2 years, and I've just been looking for the right tech to be able to do it. And Eamon's one of my business partners, is in the back, the good-looking bald guy with the glasses.
I like your haircut, brother. And by the way, is Larry still there?
Yeah.
So can we bring
Let's
Larry
bring Larry back. And we met Larry literally about 6 months ago, and both of us walked out of the office and we're like, holy shit, this is exactly what we've been looking for.
That's absolutely crazy, isn't it?
Hey,
Welcome
if you
back.
Unbelievable.
just letting people know on this side, if you don't see that amazing, you can go and walk over here because what they see on that side of the room is quite fabulous. So
It is spectacular, I gotta tell you. So let me ask you a question, Larry. What do you see the future of this?
Well, there's lots of future with this technology. For us at Art Media, we have a slogan which is we take the best of the world to the rest of the world. And we've been doing it for about 3 years. I mean, we've turned Warren Buffett into a hologram. We've turned Stephen Hawking into a hologram. Yuval Harari, we captured him in Tel Aviv recently. We put him on the main stage of TED 2018, where he addressed 5,000 people, then did live Q&A with the CEO of TED, and of course that was posted, and you can see it on TED.com. Ray Kurzweil, the head of engineering for Google, we captured him in Boston. He gave a keynote address at a tech conference in Belarus. We pushed out his image, we pushed out his PowerPoint, we pushed out the image mags, and then after his 1-hour presentation, he did a half an hour of Q&A, and then he went home and had dinner with his family in Boston. He wasn't in Belarus. So there are all kinds of applications of the technology. We think that, really education is number one. And we're looking at working with universities around the world to take the leading instructors, the guys who wrote the textbooks, the guys who were voted by the students as the most inspirational instructors and leaders to actually teach core curriculum to courses to students anywhere. So you could be, you could be taking an MBA program in Perth and wanting to know about corporate real estate in Manhattan, and you can have somebody in Manhattan actually teaching the course. And of course, what Greg's doing is taking it to a whole new level with special guests. And maybe, Greg, you might want to share with the group what you have in mind with some of that.
Well, our whole goal and intention is to start bringing in and beaming in, especially at the next Secret Knock, people that you would probably never have access to. Look, the fact of the matter is you just saw an Oscar-winning actor, you saw a former president. These are people I could just get to fly in on a Wednesday night. Imagine the people we have access to that perhaps they can go into studio and beam in live and be with us and engage and interact rather than just a video or type of a teleconference, but actually be part of the experience. And that's what I see.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we're delivering all the time.
Round of applause right here, folks.
Yes.
How would you like to close out?
So does anyone have any questions since we've got Larry here from Toronto about the technology?
Yes, right here.
What does your setup look like to get you in there? What do you need, a camera, a backdrop?
Okay, the question is, what kind of setup was necessary to get all this put to life?
So in the case of the pre-record, literally last week, I walked into the studio in Toronto. Regular camera, Larry recorded me on a black screen. We did a couple of run-throughs, taped it, and just showing it here. And separately, Larry's in this live one. He's literally in Toronto right now, just beamed in over the internet.
Is it portable?
Yes. Yeah. Literally this display set up here, a couple hours, it's up.
What are the bandwidth and transmission considerations?
Yeah, what is the bandwidth considerations?
So it actually requires, the way their software is, it requires actually a pretty low level of bandwidth to use, amazingly.
The fact of the matter is we're in the San Diego Performing Arts
10
Center.
10 megabits up and down.
Yeah, and it's working right now, clean through there. Niv. Okay, Niv, the question is, can you see 360? Or can you just see like 180? How are you seeing right there?
Well, I mean, we can set up the configuration any way that you will like. We're now actually looking out at the audience just using one camera. But for example, we did an event recently where we beamed Tony Robbins from Florida into Beverly Hills. The event that he was at was Abundance 360 with Peter Diamandis. And Peter had 7 cameras running. So where Tony was, he had 7 monitors, and it didn't matter who those cameras were focusing on in the audience, he could engage directly with them and really have that emotional engagement.
Yes, Doc.
Won't this destroy, do you think this will destroy the educational system as we know it, like a university?
That's a great. Do you think this will be a great disruption?
Let me take that one.
Yeah.
Let me take that one. So remember, obviously this is a bit, we are a disruptor in one sense. However, bear in mind for Imagine, our goal is not to sit down and replace teachers. Our goal is to just bring in basically some exceptional speakers to add to what the teachers are already doing. In fact, part of our program, we're essentially like a holographic Netflix for educational institutions. Part of our whole model is that we're going to sit down and we're going to bring in every month a different superstar into their main stage auditorium, not into their classrooms, right? This stuff is not cheap, all right? It's a large setup. And we basically just charge schools a monthly subscription fee. They don't own the hardware. We go set it all up for them. They don't have to do anything.
So are you going to be here for the rest of the day?
Absolutely.
Absolutely, yeah. Feel
Okay,
free
so
to come,
people can talk to you out
me.
in the hallway and all that, right?
Come
now,
grab me or
I have
aim
one
in the
quick
back.
question for you on behalf of everyone at Secret Knock. Is there some way that a person who wins the Tub of Love can go somewhere, be filmed, and have a recording of them as a hologram somewhere in the future? Is there something that we could put together in the Temple of Love for one special person?
That's a big question. It's
is
a
a
big
very
ask.
big- that's
I
a
think we're
big-
going to have to hold them
you can
down
come
and
and
pin
visit.
them and tickle
Oh, wait,
them.
wait, wait. I hear Larry's saying something.
No, for sure. You can come and visit us at our LA studio. We're in downtown LA. Jason, who's actually running the tech, runs the tech for our LA office. He's there in San Diego with you today. So you could offer that as a tub of love. Come in, we'll record you, we'll put you on the holographic screen. You can get a camera to record your holographic self, and then you can post it everywhere.
All right. And by the way, is
HT Media.
wait, is Sidorsky in the room?
Right.
So what are you thinking, man? I mean, you're thinking about, right now you're working on junior achievement, and you want to bring this type of information to the youth of tomorrow. You know, you and your billionaire friends, is there something here that we could use to team up to do something?
Right, this is probably the
Hold on 1 second.
This is the technology that I've been waiting and looking for the last 5 years. The teaching that goes on in schools today is probably the worst teaching in the world. If you want to learn, you want to learn from the best people, and we can now present the best teachers and the best curriculum in the world to everybody and not have to settle for mediocrity anywhere in the world. When you can bring in speakers like Reid, and I was trying to get Brian Tracy here today, but unfortunately he's not going to join us. But he is very, very interested in this technology because he travels more than 200 days a year, as does our other speakers. They don't have to travel now. They can reach thousands, hundreds of thousands of people every day, every week in seminars, presenting the finest material in the most precise way and a live interaction. It's incredible technology.
Great. And by the way, I know you're looking for money. Here's a guy, a rich guy right here. There you go. That's what I can do for you.
And Brian and I are already talking.
All right. Is there any one last final question you'd like to throw out before we do it? Yes.
I guess I'm just thinking, if I'm not a university student, I still want to learn this, will be set up that I can go, or?
So basically, I mean, essentially our goal is we want to be in 10,000 colleges, universities in the next 7 years. And as part of that, my personal goal is I want one of these in every high school auditorium around the world. So as
Amen
part
to
of it, we're going to sit down also and allow the institutions to carve out some seats and make them available for the public. Like they can sit down and, again, recoup some of their monthly fee by opening up some tickets, invite people in to come and listen to these things. I think the key here is we want to bring education, this level of education, into the places that's already trying to do the education. We're just basically helping them by bringing some of the best to sit down and help inspire and motivate and show their kids what's possible, who they can be.
One of the questions, will there be a residential version of this for the future?
Oh, man, that's a good one. I would say a residential version, I'm sure years down the road, maybe. I think it's going to take a little while for the technology to get to that point, but undoubtedly it will. It's just a question of time.
I mean, it's kind of funny. It is Star Trek feeling, right? It is pretty crazy. What do you got, Charles?
This guy has a really interesting question.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we've obviously met. I'm fascinated by this software. As a promoter, obviously, I promote people. I'm very interested in this. What is the cost? And obviously, because a lot of the speakers aren't cheap. So this could bring the cost down, or it could be implemented within the cost of running events. It's a massive game changer.
It is a massive game changer.
Give me an approximate figure. What would it cost if I wanted to have someone coming into my live event in London? What would it cost?
So I'll give you two different scenarios because Art is our technology partner. Imagine we're basically doing the Netflix for the educational institutions globally. So for us, basically, we charge academic institutions a subscription fee of $10,000 a month. They don't pay for the hardware. They don't pay for installation. They don't own it. We do. And they just pay a monthly fee. That's 10 grand a month. For you, Bernardo, I'll let Larry actually answer that question because if you want to sit down and say, hey, I want to bring in a particular speaker into this event who's not in the best of health or can't travel or too busy, Larry, what's it going to cost Bernardo to sit down and have a unit and port some people in?
Yeah, so typically what we charge is if we're capturing somebody in one place and we beam them almost anywhere else in the world, we charge $30,000 to do so. Usually, speakers will reduce their speaking fee somewhat because they don't have to go through the burden of actually traveling to that destination, and we can make them way more efficient. I mean, one of the guys who uses us an awful lot right now is Peter Diamandis, and we did an event recently where he was running Singularity University in San Francisco, and they wanted him as a keynote speaker for the Canadian Medical Association in Winnipeg. Well, we beamed him into Winnipeg. He earned his fee. He was finished at 7:30 in the morning because of the time change, and then he went and ran Singularity University. So the simple answer is it's about $30,000, and typically about half that might have been recouped with a reduction in the fee for the speaker, maybe even more.
Last question: do they have? Can you send this? Can you send the technology to their house so they're going to have to leave their home?
Can you send the technology to their house, or do they need to go into studio?
No, we can actually set up anywhere. I mean, in the case I just gave you, I mean, Peter was in San Francisco and he was in a hotel, and we just set up. We took a meeting room in a hotel. We have a charitable event coming up on October the 1st, and we're looking at going to a celebrity's house in Hollywood and beaming them into for a pet trust gala where they're going to be a special guest.
Is there any last question? Anyone's dying, but he'll be around for the next few days. Yes.
Other than the wow factor that we're all feeling right now, like the future today, how is this different from 2D technology that's already in place? Isn't the wow factor going to be kind of worn out after a while, like it was in the theaters, movie theaters?
So it's a great question, Jason. I think that you have to remember for our model essentially, we are the Netflix of holographic technology for educational institutions. I'm all about let's take the world's best and let's let those people sit down and talk to millions of the younger generation. Because if we can take that one generation, and believe me, 3D holographic, multi-plane, full experiential, where you're basically turning the whole, like I want to put J.K. Rowling on stage, and I want to turn that whole auditorium into Hogwarts Castle, so it feels, looks, sounds like you're all sitting in Hogwarts, and you're listening to J.K. Rowling talk about having to write Harry Potter in a coffee shop being piss poor broke, and what it took to get her to be basically richer than the Queen, which is what she is now. I mean, the kids need to hear that kind of story. Yes. So the technology is really just a small part of this.
And Alec, you're a technology guy. I mean, you're on the cutting edge of stuff back in the day. Is this kind of trip? I mean, what are you thinking? Access is the key to everything right now, and that's what it is. It is the power of proximity. And we are going to take a break, but we're going to thank Larry, we're going to thank Jason, we're going to thank Jeff, we're going to thank everybody.
Thank you.
Round of applause,
Thanks, Larry.
everybody. Thank you so much.
Bye, guys.
Awesome.